You know who I am?
Anything you say. Anything you say.
It's official. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Thomas back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Now, this week, as far as news and politics go, the only thing I saw that was big was Elon Musk and Rumble defeated the WEF, which is good, because the WEF wants socialism and communism throughout the world, and they want to own everything with BlackRock and Vanguard, and have you renting everything, but you don't own it. That includes your food, your water, everything. They need to be stopped. But anyways, they won a lawsuit against them. I saw something where one of them F-tards in freaking the UK thinks he's going to arrest people for posting something that's not what they consider hate speech, which is retarded. I mean, get the fuck out of here. Good luck with that shit. We whipped your ass twice. We can do it again. So, but anyways, I thought that was dumb. And then the media wants you to think that Harris is up in the polls and defeating Trump. It's all BS. It's a lie. There's no way she's going to beat Trump. None. And they know it. They're desperate. They're freaking out. So, anyways, that's all the big news I've seen so far lately. Let's get on to what I really want to talk to you about. So, I went ahead and watched a few more episodes of that damn Time Bandits TV show, which is just absolutely garbage. I can't stand Lisa Kudrow. She plays the same damn dingy blonde in all her shows. The kid sucks. I don't like the kid. They try to make it, make him British, but none of them are really British. I just don't understand why they didn't just go ahead and do a US version. It made no sense. Anyways, whatever. The show is just, the God character, he's going to eliminate everybody and start a new Earth 2. Because he fucked up the first time, and it's just, okay, whatever. But my biggest complaint on the past few episodes, I think there's 6 of them out now. The past few episodes that I watched, they go to New York in one episode. And it's gangster time during the Prohibition era. And the only gangsters, there's like 2 or 3 gangs, and the only gangsters, they're all black. Every single one of them is black. And it's just bullshit. Like, they wouldn't be black. they be like Italian or something. It's so dumb. And then, yeah, even one of the mob bosses is a black woman. Like, she's running everything. Get the fuck out of here. You're so stupid. And then they go to in another episode later, he uses that Wakita or whatever the fuck his name is. He uses the same damn black people from the New York City episode to portray Arabians. All Arabians are now black. I'm like, no, they're fucking not, you fucking idiot. It's so stupid. And it's the same black actors from the like, they couldn't find other black actors or any actors to play them parts. They had to use the same damn ones. They're just playing different characters. It's like, come on, what the fuck are you doing? The show's garbage, but I watched a little bit more because I just wanted to see how bad the train wreck was going to get, and it's getting worse and worse. Every episode is 10 times worse. The little girl, okay, you have to have the map, okay, in order to travel through space and time. Yet his little older sister, she's not much older, is somehow able to travel through the time portals without the fucking map. And she's like trying to hunt him down. She keeps running all across the historical figures that he supposedly ran into. And she's all like, where'd he go? And they point like he disappeared into the ground or into the wall. And she'd be like, oh, okay, well, that's where I'll go. And then the portal opens up and then she jumps through. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with that bullshit. Fuck me, man. He fucked up this show so bad. But yeah, it's just stupidity. Stupid shit. Anyways, let's get on to the next one. I am still watching Alone season 11 because it hasn't finished yet. When it gets finished, I'll let you know how it goes. I did watch the UK version of Alone, and it is way the fuck out there. I mean, way out there. Now, they're not getting 500,000. They're only getting 100,000. However, again, these people are not survival experts. I don't care if the fucking show tells you they are at the beginning. They are not survival experts. Going camping in your backyard for 2 weeks is not a survival skill. I don't care how many fucking classes you took to learn survival skills. Unless you do it repeatedly all the time, you're not a survival expert. Anyways, the UK version. Dude, you would think they would go somewhere else in the UK. Nope, they go to Canada again. Fucking Canada. Like there's nowhere else in the fucking world they could fucking go. Which we know is not true because there's been a couple of seasons where they went somewhere else. But every other season has been fucking Canada. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. Anyways, they go to Canada and surprisingly, they had a few young women on there, which is crazy because none of the other shows or the seasons have young women on there. It's all like 50-year-olds. I mean, yeah, a couple 30-year-olds, but maybe a couple 40-year-olds, but the vast majority of the women that go on the show is over 50. You don't have 20-year-olds. On this one, you had a couple of 20-year-olds. It was kind of surprising. But here's the thing. If you watch the UK version, you're going to see their job or their occupation. Some type of business manager, or, you know, they're a salesperson or something like that. I was like, really? A fashion designer. I was like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck do they know about survival skills? One kid, he was 19. He was I can't remember what he was exactly, but he lived in the city. He took one class for survival skills and thought he could do something like this. He was out like a day. He was done. He's like, nope, can't do this. I shouldn't have come. Blah, blah, blah. I was like, well, no shit. It's some Indian kid. That lived in the UK. I was like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck are you doing? So they don't vet these people very well at all. They're not vetted very well. In the UK version, they don't do a backstory like showing their family like they do in the US version. They didn't show any of that kind of stuff. There was no backstory. It's just them dropped off there and yada yada. But yeah, when you see their occupations, you're just like, get the fuck out of here. What the fuck do they know about fucking surviving in the wilderness? Not jack shit. They almost all left really early. Like, it didn't take them long, especially all the women. They just one by one, you know, they were leaving pretty fucking early. I think they maybe 2-3 weeks is the most that the person, the one who won it, lasted. You know, is get the fuck out of here. Anyways, it's just a joke. That show's kind of a joke anymore. It's not really a survival show. But anyways, let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Okay, Movieholics, this week is Fantasy Week. I went with a couple of like historical period fantasies, because just about every historical movie, you know, anything that has to do with history, you know, it's over exaggerated. They weren't there. They may have a little bit of history books that may tell them what might have happened, but they don't really know. So they kind of have to over embellish a bit in these movies. That's why they're kind of fantasy. The first one I watched was called The Count of Monte Cristo, and I know a lot of people have probably heard of this story. No, it's just a legend. No one really knows anything about it. If it was historical or not. At least I don't think so anyway. It was done, this version was done, there's several versions of this movie, or this story. This version was done in 2002 and made about 75 million worldwide. And it starred, Jim Caviezel and Guy Pearce and how do you pronounce it? Dagmara Dominic, I think that's how you pronounce her name. She was the wife or whatever, or the girlfriend, whatever. Anyways, so the story is basically, you have two guys, a rich guy, very wealthy, a count of a son, who is really good friends with a boy who was raised as the clerk of a son, like a store clerk. So they join a shipping company, so they can travel around, get into some adventures, blah, 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 blah. At one point in time, at the very beginning of the movie, you see they end up, their captain gets hurt or something. He needs medical treatment, and the closest place they know he's got to have it quick or he's going to die. And the closest place they could go to is the island of Elba, which is where the British imprisoned Napoleon Bonaparte. So they go there, almost get killed. Their captain ends up dying anyway, even though there's a doctor on the island. Napoleon slips Jim's character, named Edmund. He slips him a letter to deliver to one of his agents. His friend, his best buddy, who wants to sleep with his girlfriend, ends up tattling on him. He sees, even though he wasn't there, he saw from away the letter that Napoleon gave him the letter. Now he brings somebody else in on it, a couple other people. The son of the Napoleon agent is someone very a high official, really high status. His son is also the local magistrate, so he's like the police. He's like the chief, lieutenant, whatever. He runs the show. He finds out who the letter's for and reads it, and he's all like, fuck, I can't have that shit happening. So, along with Guy Pearce, the son of a count, they imprison Jim's character, Edmund, into the worst prison ever. He's beaten regularly. He's there for like 13 years. He meets an old man who's in the prison as well. They're digging a tunnel. And the entire time they're digging this tunnel to get out, the old man teaches him, knowledge, how to read, write, mathematics. It basically becomes a tutor to him. He also teaches him some sword play, because the old man was once a soldier. Eventually, the old man finally dies. He uses his body, like he's dead or whatever. He goes in. They have a bag. They carry the dead out. He jumps into the bag instead. So he gets out. He escapes that way. It kills the guy who runs the prison, who was beating him like once a year for whatever he beat him. Whip his back. But anyways, he breaks free from prison. Now at this time, while this is all going on, the girlfriend who was supposed to marry him, she's told that he is dead. In fact, his father and a couple other people are told he's dead. So she thinks he's dead. She's pregnant with his son, though he didn't know it. So she marries Guy Pearce, or his character, to survive for her and her son. Now back to the escape. He escapes. He runs across a bunch of pirates. One of them becomes his best friend. The old man was in prison because supposedly he was a thief and he stole this treasure, and he tells Jim's character, Edmund, that they buried it. Well, not necessarily buried it, but they hid it on a little island called Monte Cristo. Jim's character stays with the pirates for a few years, like 3 or 4 years, and then the main pirate captain or whatever tells him, "You don't belong here. Go somewhere else." He appreciates his camaraderie, but he needs to go somewhere else. So he leaves, and he takes his best friend with him, which is also on the ship. He's a pirate too, but he goes with him. And they go and get the treasure, and then he starts plotting revenge against all those that betrayed him all those years ago. And he does. He goes, buys this house in Paris, and starts calling himself the Count of Monte Cristo. Of course, he's not, but everybody thinks he is. With little subtlety here and there, he gets everyone arrested and charged. Everyone finds out what really happened to him, and the Guy Pearce's character, he destroys him utterly. He ends up having to kill him as well, because he wouldn't stop coming after him. The boy realizes what happened, what was really going on, that he's his son. And the woman he thought betrayed him, come to find out, he found out why she married him. And she thought he was dead, and he thought that she just betrayed him. But he eventually takes her back, and everything's hunky-dory, and everyone lives happily ever after. It's a good movie. I liked it. I really enjoyed it. Great movie. I don't think I've ever seen another version of this movie. I may have to at some point in time, but not right now. Definitely check it out. Definitely worth a watch. 2 thumbs up. Great movie. I like Jim Caviezel. He's a excellent actor. He's done a lot of movies that I actually like. I'm surprised he's not a big star, because he's a really good actor. Let's move on to your next one. Now, next one is more fantasy based. but it's a time period type of movie. Back in like the 1700s, when people were just 1700s, somewhere around there, late 16, early 17, when everybody was, you had your pilgrims, coming to America type thing. And the movie's called Solomon Kane. Now, Solomon Kane was done in 2009, and it's strange that it only made about 20 million worldwide. I thought it'd do better, but apparently not. It starred James Purefoy. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his last name. But the problem is James is not a really well-known actor. He's known, but he's not real popular. So that may contribute to why it didn't do all that well. And of course, Rachel Ward is also in this movie as the leading actress. She's Meredith, the girl he's trying to save. So this is a Robert E. Howard character. If you don't know who Robert E. Howard is, maybe you've heard of the character called Conan the Barbarian. That's who created Conan. There's several characters he created, several stories that became fairly popular reading-wise. But as far as the big screen goes, like, you remember that Kevin Sorbo movie called Cole the Conqueror? That was another one he created. But for whatever reason, Conan's the only character that seems to really, as far as movies and big entertainment goes, that's the only one that seems to have really blown up for him. So Solomon Kane. Solomon Kane is about a character who was like this big mercenary. I mean, he just loved killing and going to war. That was his thing. He's good at it. He done a lot of shady shit. Well, in this particular story, some demons show up and they tell him that Lucifer wants his soul and it's going to hell. He's that corrupt or damned. And he's all like, fuck you, I'm not going anywhere. So he takes off and he ends up going to a monastery trying to redeem his soul. But the priest there is all like, this isn't the place for you. You've been here for a year. I understand that you consider this sanctuary, but there's more for you to do. You got to leave. Goodbye. So he tells him to go home. And Solomon Kane's like, no, I can't go home. Supposedly, him and his brother had it out. His older brother, which would have taken over the rights to the land. They fought, and he fell down a cliff. He thought he killed him. His father wanted him to be a priest, and he didn't want to be a priest. And he told him he was going to leave, and his father said, well, if you leave, don't come back. You're not welcome here. So he did. He left. So now he's come back. He's not quite came home yet. He's on the road, and he meets this family of pilgrims that they're going to go to America and start all over again because they're tired of the tyranny of the king. So that's where they're going to go. It's to America. They've invited him with them, but he's like, nah, I got things to do. So they come across his home territory, his lands. And they come across a group of thugs, raiders, that have been ensorcelled. They've been ensorcelled. So he sees this one guy, and he's got like the mask of someone's face, like their skin, for a mask. And he's leading these group of raiders, or whatever you want to call them, thugs, that have been ensorcered. You know, they got black eyes, you know, they're all screwed up looking. Anyways, they attacked the family that he's been traveling with for a little while. They kidnap the youngest girl, the girl. She's not really that young. She's probably in her early 20s. They killed the son and the father, and the father tells him to promise him that he'll get the girl back to his mother. The mother's still alive. So he goes after the kidnapped girl. Come to find out, these raiders are stationed, their home base, whatever. This sorcerer who's running the show is at his home, his castle. He finds his father still alive but in chains, and the father tells him after his brother fell, he didn't die. He called in everybody to try to save him. Nobody could save him. He's really disfigured, all screwed up. And then he calls in the sorcerer, and the sorcerer brings him back, but he's all demented and shit. So he finds out the guy behind the skin mask is his brother. They end up fighting. The sorcerer claims that he did it all to lure him there because Lucifer still wants his soul. So he ends up fighting not only his brother and killing his brother, he ends up having to fight the sorcerer, and then ends up killing him as well. And then his soul is not taken because he said he'd give up his soul to hell but only if the girl was left alone, that he would die for her, which is, you know, the rules. That's the ultimate redemption crap. Saving the soul, somebody else, you know, giving your life for somebody else. So he ends up staying, but his soul is still damned. He's got a lot of repentance to do. So he decides to become a tool for God against evil. And that's the end of the movie. It's a good movie. I'm surprised they didn't do a sequel to it. I really am. I thought it was a decent movie. I don't know why they didn't do a sequel, but apparently not. Yeah, it's a good movie. I give it 2 thumbs up. Definitely check it out. I think they should try again and do another one, regardless. But I don't know. Anyways, check it out. It's a really good movie. If you have any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. If you can think of any underrated or B movies you may never or think I may never have heard of or seen, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below. I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. So until next time, I told you you'd be told the truth, and you've just been told.